Economists typically measure income inequality by something called the Gini coefficient, which ranges from 0 to 100 in percentage terms. A score of 0 indicates there is perfect equality in income distribution. A score of 100 reflects perfect inequality. Here are some coefficient results. So from this we can see that income distribution is more unequal in South Africa, in Brazil, than in Nigeria. But sometimes the problem with inequality is not so much with the level, but rather with the change in the level. When inequality starts to rise, it gets easily noticed, even in countries where the Gini coefficient is very low. Although China has a relatively low income inequality, the rise recently has been very sharp, about 4 times that in neighboring Taiwan, as economic growth has been much faster in China. As studies by the World Economic Forum have shown, it appears the factors that speed economic growth are the same ones that raise income inequality. This seems to make sense. After all, the fastest growing economies have been those that have experienced rapid capital accumulation and a globalized economy. And for sure, what these factors do is to reduce the participation of unskilled labor. This means the stronger economic returns will go mostly to highly skilled workers and the owners of capital, and at the expense of unskilled labor. To worsen matters, there's now something called miniaturization, where big mainframe machines and computers are being replaced by much smaller devices, as with our notepads and smartphones that can do a myriad of high-tech jobs. With the bigger machines, someone could set things up for you to process. But now you have to operate your smart device yourself. You must know how to use your little smartphone for navigation, faxes, research, and video conferencing, among others. Our policymakers must constantly devise approaches for reskilling and upskilling. There must also be well thought through safety net strategies for marketplace and out-of-marketplace activities. Sometimes policymakers appear to forget that often entrepreneurs have to be taught how to export. You will be surprised that globalization can actually be good for everyone if the people, all the people, are exposed to the robust market opportunities provided by globalization. This is where the Red in Africa strategies we are promoting here at the EBS can be very useful. Unfortunately, African central governments apparently have not developed appropriate mechanisms to use in partnership with the communities that make up their nations. I contend that central governments that act in helicopter fashion over states, provinces, or municipalities will find only limited success in trying to create inclusive growth with job creation. Hovering up above can never be a substitute for hands-on engagement with communities. Community economic sensitization and development is where it all starts to achieve inclusive economic growth. I'm Magnus Kpakol, and that's my view.
Magnus.